YouTube, good morning as well. Welcome back to another live session. So, I've been checking out the scans and things are looking very soft today, man. Very soft. Let me shout out the Discord here. Miguel looking good, man. Looking clean. Nice L-shaped desk. Just be careful of the cat going on the keyboard and pressing some hotkeys. Is he in here? I don't think he is. But beautiful setup, lovely. Cat is just blending in with the desk, But anyhows, for those of you guys on YouTube, as I was saying, good morning and welcome back. And, let's get into it here today. So I'm watching its ICAD still. This one was from yesterday. Although I don't know how good it'll be today. I feel like it's holding up fairly well. Not the best we've ever seen, but it's kind of in range. We had highs of 97 yesterday. Today we're at 342. So if it does curl back up, 360, 370, and there's a chance we actually get back to the highs, there might be something there. So I'll keep this one on watch, especially since our scans are much softer. So, yesterday I was a little on the later side. I didn't get to check everything, but this is letting me know right now, hey, you might want to just take it easy today. CVNA is moving up, yes, but this one, I think there's an active offering out, so this could drop like crazy, and I'm gonna avoid that stock altogether today for those reasons. So got to be careful, got to make sure that what we're trading is actually the best opportunity that we have here today. I'm gonna go ahead and start the screen recording a little early just to be on the safe side. So if you're trading out there, remember to record your extra monitors. That way you can study up later in the day. All right, that looks good. So yeah, ICAD is mentioned, 397 for yesterday's high. We're currently 340. We'll see what it does. The daily chart, we had levels up around 426 and 459. So I can zoom out here to show those levels. Yeah. So we'll see what this one does. Moving on, let's come back to the scans and let's take a look here. So we got a couple of 5 symbol stocks, a couple of stocks that are really cheap and volume is really light, so I'm going to avoid those. SMX, which is up 50%, has 30 million shares in the volume, which is good, but 165 million shares in the float.
JAQCU.
Let me take that off. Yeah, so shout out to Momo Pro. Yeah, I don't know about this float of 165. I can keep an eye on it. Sometimes, and not that often, they'll have a bigger float and be able to move pretty well if the volume is high enough. It comes down to supply and demand. Do we have enough demand to match that supply and even more to create an imbalance and hopefully an imbalance to the buy side. So it's possible for larger float stocks to move. It just takes a little bit more, right? So I can keep it on watch. I mean, we'll see. Let's put up a few trend lines for now at least. So we had a high point of 25 cents, and this is one is like an actual penny stock. A high point of 25. Let's see. We had after hour highs, which were right around this area here, 21, which seems to be aligning with VWAP today. So I'd love to see us hold this area and then get back up to the highs. That would be good to see. Looking at the daily chart, let's see, SMX. So we had this big sell-off. Let's see, we had a big sell-off down here, going back to June of last, what was this year? Yeah, June of this year, June 23rd and 22nd. So we went from 43 down to a high of 20. Okay, so we're really curling back up. The low of this candlestick was 43. That's the first level I'd want to see this stock get to, is 43. And I think that's a pretty reasonable target. So I do have some other trend lines back here, which I'm going to get rid of. Yeah, 43 is what I'd want to see out of this stock. I think that's a reasonable target, and that'll do it for the analysis there. SMX, cheaper stock, 50 cents, higher float, so we're not sure if we really want to trade it or not. Moving on, CVNA, which I'm not going to touch. SXTP, which I think will be the main stock for me today. SXTP, but looking at this one doesn't really look that good. Doesn't look so good. So it's recent IPO going back to the 12th. It popped up and then it's been selling off. We do have the first daily candle to make a new high at 297, which is good. I'll put that level in there. Maybe it can be support. 297. And I'm watching, okay, again, the 200 EMA is there, but we haven't had 200 days of candles, so I'm not sure how it's going to work, but it is saying 463 on Thinkorswim. Someone mentioned this a few months ago, and since then it's been so funny. But we'll see what happens here. So we got highs at 343. For any of you out there who are like really good at math, you probably have an answer for this, right? Why that there's a 200 EMA if we don't have more than 200 days to calculate off of. I know there's math that goes into the moving averages, but I'm nowhere near the mathematician for that type of stuff. So yeah, we got highs at 43. I got some intraday levels that I'm going to erase, I think from pre-market highs or something. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of those. And then I'm going to do 885. 885 is all-time highs. I could map out each high of each red candle coming down, but I think I might just take this one in like 50-cent increments. If not, it'll be 380, and then let's put it 380 and then 424, and then that'll do it. I'll check this. I'll check the chat to see if there's something that you guys are watching at that I'm not, and then I think that'll do it. Because the scans are just awful today. There's not a lot going on. So today might be a no trade day, which has been a long time for me since we've had one of those. I mean, a long time, like over 2 years. But maybe today's the day to exercise, an extremely high level of discipline. If it's not looking good, then we don't want to be getting involved. So, being that the scans are so slow, I'm going to look to be very careful today. I want to proceed with caution. I want to make sure that I don't end up big red. Right? Yesterday I did have a red day. today I don't want to end up big red in the first 5 minutes. So I want to take it slow, take it easy, be careful, and wait for something strong to hit the scans or to hit, to move up on one of these watch list stocks. That's a 2 minute warning. It's coming up. Right on time. Yeah, but other than that, I do want to be on standby. I want to be at the ready because this is the market after all. It can be weak right now, but in the next, 2 minutes, there's something totally strong and just ripping. So we still have to be on standby and we still have to be ready to go in case there is something good. So for those of you tuning in on YouTube, Momo, FOMO, Jeffrey, KT, Dylan, John, guys, be sure to hit the thumbs up. And of course, if you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. Today we'll have a like goal of 300, right? 300 likes is the goal today. For our disclaimer, because of course, day trading is risky. Remember to, not use money that you don't have. So don't trade money that you cannot afford to lose, right? Do not use any sort of important life savings, family savings, retirement money, and so forth. Trade in the sim, aka paper trading, trade the live market with artificial currency and prove concept, right? Prove that you could be disciplined. At the very least, use risk money. Some people say, hey, I don't have the emotional connection in the sim. I don't like that argument, but okay, fair point. I'll give it to some people. Use a certain amount of cash that does not affect you if you lose it, because most people lose, right? There is no field in this world that we can go into, without there being some sort of learning curve. Every single field, there's no way I can go into a hospital and perform a open heart operation. It's just impossible. So don't think you can do the same thing here in the market without any experience, all right? So remember, lastly, that I do not invest money for my subscribers. I do not invest money for my subscribers, all right? So be careful with fake accounts and imposters pretending to be me. I'll never ask you for money. I'll never ask you for personal information. I'll never ask you to click on a weird link. And in fact, I'll never even message people first. I don't message people first. So if somebody has a fake account, what they're doing, they're messaging around a million people trying to get someone. So be careful. That in itself is a red flag. I do not do mirror trading, options trading. I do not use WhatsApp. I do not use Telegram. So they're also trying to trick people with those tactics. So be careful. If they would put this time that they're trying to scam people into just learning something, they can actually learn something. But they choose to do, the opposite, unfortunately. Again, I am going to keep an eye on the scans. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. Yeah, I know the bell is wrong. There's nothing moving, right? I'm not going to touch CVNA. We need something good. And it seems like my alt stream for some reason is still not working. Yeah, not sure why. What I can do is slide it down at the bottom and enlarge. I can enlarge this one. So SMX, the cheaper stock, maybe there's something there. One minute candle potentially making a new high. Is it worth a shot? Let's see. There's some sellers coming up, but can we get through? It seems like it's struggling a bit. I'll wait. Can get back in. I wanted to see a high of day break. It's still holding up though. So watching, waiting. Well, candle's gonna go red. So that was the 1 minute candle to make the new high, rejecting high of day. Not quite good enough. Fair trade, but not the results we want. I'm gonna take a look at a few other ones. BLUE, but I think there's a higher float here. $89, 89 million. I don't know. I don't know about that. SMX pulling back. There's a small red to green on SXTP. Bouncing off of yesterday's highs. So maybe we're on to something here. Let's see what happens here. This, yeah, I mean, we'll see. And risk will be limited. Two, 98. If we don't see a lot of buyers, I'll be back out soon. If not, yeah, there's no buying coming in here, so I'll take a scratch trade. Simply because there's no buying. We are below VWAP, so I wouldn't want to be holding too long if I'm not seeing what I want to see. But I'm watching it, it's bouncing off of yesterday's highs, so I'm watching to see if it does want to curl for a move back up. But I want to see it active, like active volume. Seems like volume is decreasing here over these last couple of minutes. Seven. So it's bouncing up a little. R RX RX. ICAD not really holding up well. I mean, what a ghost town so far. What's the float on this one? This actually could be good. RX RX. I wonder, I gotta check the float though. If the float is high, I don't want to get involved. Percentage, 8%. PBLA. I'm seeing this one on E-Trade. Hitting the Momo scans as well. Maybe this is the one. A little late to the party, but it's mooning. I will not be chasing it, that's for sure. So checking out the daily chart to 90. This is good. This is good. High point 80. I gotta feel it out a little bit though. Don't want to be too hasty here. 79, 74, 70. Time. There is time. Low right there, 65.
JAQC. JAQCW.
I'll give it a chance. It's fluctuating a lot though. Like a lot. Okay. It's going to hold. This is quite the stock in terms of how fast it's moving. Sellers up here, will it go? Struggling. Yeah. I don't know. This one doesn't really, no, it doesn't really has it. I feel like maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but it doesn't really feel like this will be it. Usually they have a different feel. So moving on, just waiting. Opportunities though, right? There are opportunities there for sure. It needs to make a new high. It needs to make a new high over this seller. There's like a 30,000 share seller there. I do like the 5 minute volume, so it's going to end up coming to VWAP and holding VWAP, so big range in that 1 minute candle. So we'll see. Time, I might, you know what, give it another attempt. Keep to the small size though. Three minutes and a half. I'm gonna keep this small size for now, and let's see what it does. Can't pass judgment too soon. But that's what I don't like, being at 879 and then back at 69 in the blink of an eye. It's pretty tricky. So once it goes to, if it goes through 80, are we gonna just teleport back down to 65? Good. Very good. Let's see if it fills these shares and comes down. On. It's quite the pullback here. All right. Hmm. That was close. You gotta be careful of it failing here because it's quite the pullback. So I'm gonna give it a chance to like bounce. A low 71, high of 95. There might be a scalp trade if it's good. I think I might come back down in size, actually. There might be a scalp trade here if we're good. If not, could be Titanic. Do we have shares? Nope. I'm not interested here. But if it does hold, I think that'll be good. So we end up getting a doji on that candlestick. And low 69. So it's still holding. I'll give it a shot. Tight stops. It's good recovery. I'm out early though. Probably could have given that second position more time. Straight up. Yeah? No? Waiting? No? Nope, not straight up. So, waiting. That's a double top though, 95. Not quite the breakout. Thought it might have been straight through 3. So just waiting. I kind of came out a little too soon in that position, which wasn't great. Now it needs to hold up its levels, and I think this is where it can be really good. 83, of course. Nope. All right, I'll wait. My legs are falling asleep somehow. What's going on here? 82. Waiting, just waiting. What are the odds? What are the odds that it fails here? Is what I'm thinking. I think it is stronger than it is weaker, right? But that sometimes means nothing. Yeah, I'll need to size down again. Let's put size. Oh, what we'll do, come over here. 15. Also, is it just worth taking a couple cents? I mean, I don't think so. I don't believe so. Fluctuations are real here. I get pretty scalpy. Come on. Come on. Good. Jeez. Doesn't even last a second up there. Good. Oh, 5. Maybe needs time. Oh, maybe not. 4, 5, 6, 7. Pretty good. Well, we see 10, 15, 20. Such a tricky one, this stock. $96. Will we get something here? $95. Jeez. Bills are just atrocious. Will we fail here? Let's see. I don't think it should. But again, that doesn't mean anything, right? Take my break-even trade. Yeah. It like from the first trade I took, I already knew for me personally, this is not going to be the stock I'm going to make, 5,000 on. It's close, but it's not it, right? So I got to be careful. The goal for me here is just to be green and not be red with this type of stock. But it's giving opportunities. That's the good thing. It just isn't quite smooth enough for how I try to approach the stocks. So, trying to make the adjustments. I don't think limit orders are a bad thing on this one either. Getting in and getting out with the fills you actually want, being that it's fluctuating so fast. RXRX is moving. sakes. Okay, so it's coming down some more. We're back red. You know, before that loss even happens, I already think about the risk in the trade. But I chose the other side, which isn't great. Chose to give it a chance. So we'll try again if it holds up. But it needs to hold up here. If not, it's again, you know, a little too much of a pullback. It's like every time it goes, we kind of get a bigger drop. Low, 83. Time, 5 seconds. Is this too much of a wick for this candlestick? Maybe RX might be a better trade. I don't know. The spreads on RX is actually tight, so that's a good thing. But it is pretty extended though. No, that trade just now is a good trade. You know, for me, what it is, I already decided in my mind whether I want to sell it and then re-average, or do I want to give it a chance. And I decided, you know what, I'll just give it a chance. And that didn't work. Not at all. If not, I could have been buying at 85. Right? RX still grinding higher. I'm gonna check and see if there's something else. The other stocks are really struggling. SMX, no good. Nothing really looking exceptional here. Crispy, man. Was Crispy trying to promote FOMO? My guy. BNL section, or BNL section. RX, still going. 54, 50, pulling back a little bit there. I mean, it's just so extended. Can't get involved at this point. $57. Nothing else really looking super good. For those of you in MMU, this is the perfect time. You know, if you're not seeing what you want, to just be patient. Continue to wait on the sidelines. The main thing here is to not overtrade or be too aggressive. And just waiting patiently. The watch list stocks, man. The watch list stocks. PBLA. Not really holding up the best. It's kind of why I'm taking that dip like I did, because the way how the candles are coming to an end, that's usually where the deciding moment is. And at the time, I felt the stock was more bullish than bearish, so I didn't mind giving it a chance. It's like this is the moment of truth, but it fails miserably. So you cut the trade, you smile, you move forward. Maybe it still curls back up eventually, but definitely a little bit of weakness right now. Tesla has earnings today. Um, I wonder how this is gonna do. Stock is sky high. I mean, just these large cap stocks like Tesla, man. Hmm. I don't feel any FOMO here, but I did have my swing trade, which my average would have been like 115 if I had stuck with my plan. And right now I could have been up, like 200%. And my swing, which should have been a few months to a few years, I told myself, depending on how fast the stock would have wanted to curl or stop me out. But fear, I'm buying the stock as it's going down, dollar cost averaging in, a few shares every day. And I'm buying. I started buying like 150 as it was going down. I'm buying, 140, 130. And it just got so fearful. It's like looking, in the moment I get it, but it's like that's the difference between a profitable trader, a successful trader, and somebody who's inconsistent. It's like we gotta program our minds to be, different from the masses, and essentially buying the fear, selling the greed. So after earnings, if this does go higher, you start to say to yourself, okay, I'm in at 115, this thing is now at 320 or whatever. Do I want to take some profits here, selling into the strength? Versus me getting fearful, like, man, this thing's not stopping going down. But that was the point, and it's so funny because I wasn't even in more than 30% of the cash I planned to use. So I was in with such small size still compared to the overall position and got so fearful. But the good thing is that my source was good for two stocks. And at the time I only wanted to do one, but the good thing is that my source is good. So whenever there's another opportunity, the plan is always the same to manage risk. You got to still do your own research because, we don't want to be, making mistakes, and, you know, you got to make sure you put in your own research always. Is this one, well, the volume here, BDRX? I mean, days like today, man, I tell you. And then also for me, like in the moment, I mean, I'm never gonna be upset with myself, but yeah, actually, I'm not even gonna say that. That's make believe and fantasy. Me walking away with that $200 on that stock is nonsense because it was still looking strong and there were still opportunities. We took the opportunities, it just didn't work. So for me to say I should have walked away is nonsense. Like, especially if the move had worked out and we went up even more into the green, right? It's like a different story. So normal things, right? SXTP. Yeah, good call. Maybe there's something here. Oh, initially when this stock bounced here at 01, or was it 90? No, 96. I thought there was a chance for red to green. But when I got in, I don't like when I'm in a stock and nothing is happening. I've had bad encounters with that. So when I'm in, even if volume isn't coming even to the sell side, I don't want to be in. There needs to be movement up or down. So I'm in, and for like 15 seconds, there's no volume. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not even gonna stick around here. So if it gets above '07 and holds above '07, that's where I'll get involved. BDRX. Is it pushing more volume though? Is it halted? I want to see more volume on that stock. I'm gonna grab my chair because my legs, I don't know what's going on. Well, SXTP showing its true colors. Gotta get this stock out of my sights. To the garbage bin. No good. This is exactly why, for me, it needs to at least hold above VWAP. I mean, even then, sometimes in these weaker markets, it's not as. It still doesn't work out super well, but I think it, increases the odds a little bit to get the VWAP rejection. VWAP rejection. Pretty popular strategy, actually. In in the classes, I don't think I ever phrased it as such because we kind of just look at it as like, hey, let's not buy into resistance of any kind, whether the 200, any sort of daily level, right? If the stock isn't really showing strength, the market sentiment doesn't matter. On a day where it's slow like this, avoiding being so aggressive that early, it helps out. If not, I'm in at '06, stopping out at 95. I'll trade this resumption with 500 shares because I do not really trust it as much. And then again, this brings us back to the conversation of if I have to reduce size to trade a stock, is it even worth trading in the first place? Some conversations never go away. So what I'm thinking, okay, I'll watch it. So I'll watch it. If it happens to be good and it's strong, there's usually more entries. My halt doesn't say 669. 669 is the high of the previous candle. If you look on the right hand side of the screen, time 41. Let me pull it up, I'll show you. If you look on the right hand side of the screen over here, that's the actual price. 669 is the high of the last candle. So what I could also do is probably just adjust my screen a little bit. So if I go like this, does that like look better? I think that looks a little bit better, right? And resumption is coming up. Let's leave that alone. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, here we go. Just watching on for now. Jeez. Can we bounce at least? Struggling. Okay, it's gonna bounce a little bit. These stocks are tricky here these days. I didn't take that dip there. These days like today, I tell you, man. It's like I don't it's kind of so discouraging to even want to stay here. The way all these stocks are just like awful. That was a mess. Could you have made money on this candle? Yes, but I mean, geez, it's like there's more risk than there is reward. Don't worry, I'm feeling completely fine. I'm feeling okay. Sometimes, like for me, I don't have any expectations at all on the day. It's a matter of me just coming in and doing my best. But we'd prefer to see a strong day every day, but we also know that's not the case. Part of the deal. Part of the deal. So if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up. We right now have 496 people, but only 137 likes. The goal is 300 likes. 300 likes. So guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up. PBLA has crawled back up a little bit. Are we on something here? The volume today has been much better than the volume yesterday. Yeah, PBLA, I'm not touching this unless it gets over 3 and can hold above the level. There'll probably be opportunities around this area, but I'm not interested here. Some people might still take a few quick scalps or quick dips, but I don't know. Right now, like especially after these last couple of months, for me, it's like I'm really only interested in trading if something is going to be rewarding, you know? So a stock like this, I immediately recognize it's not going to be a big green day kind of stock. But I thought at least a couple $100, 500, 600. But we didn't continue in that key area. I think if we did, it would have been exactly that. I don't know if anybody caught these first two green candles. If you catch these two green candles, it's a whole different story. But yeah, I also wasn't very aggressive towards the dips early. Tesla earnings. Are people really swinging earnings? For me, it's like if I'm not already in, there's no way I'm buying into earnings. It's probably, and I don't know, but the way how the economy is, I'd say things are probably looking up, looking good, looking decent. Things are getting better. The inflation is going down. So, earnings should be good. Like the earnings season should not be awful, but that doesn't mean anything. Companies can still have individual problems. So, I mean, look at Meta, man. 314, absolutely impressive. These companies also let go of a lot of employees too. Apple, all-time highs. And imagine the economy is like in a bearish state, you know? Like there were talks of recession, we had the pandemic, the war overseas, and just a few months later, stocks like Apple already all-time highs. So, in another 2 years when the economy is actually like in a very, very bullish state, how's it gonna be? Are we gonna already be back at like 300? Of course, these companies that have the splits. So, the gold mine, of course, is the market. So can we day trade small caps, make money here, make money elsewhere as well in other businesses outside the market, and also reinvest into large caps where we don't even have to work. We can just buy something at a very discounted price, hopefully, right? Because hopefully that's where we're buying, and sleep and wake up, and then a few months later be up 100% or more. But of course, the risk is on the other side of the trade. If we don't do it properly, if we buy in the wrong areas or at the wrong time, it'll be the equal and opposite reaction, just us losing. Now, the good thing is that it's hard to lose 100% versus making 100%. If you buy Apple now, to lose 100%, the stock has to go to zero, which is probably not likely. But you can lose 10%, 20%, 40%, right? That can happen. 50%. Netflix, Meta, we've seen it. Even Tesla recently, we've seen it. I haven't checked out on Disney for a long time. Disney, Google, and some of these semiconductors, man, the chips. I know Nvidia did its thing. So we got to bounce on that resumption for BDRX. The phrase wrong bet would use right now is pulling teeth, right? That's what the market is looking like right now. Pulling teeth, watching paint dry, watching water boil. It's telling me relentless. Get the heck out of here. So at 10:30 in the next 10 minutes, I am out, as they say in Canada. As they say in Canada, there's nothing that's hitting my criteria. For those of you on YouTube who are a little newer to the channel, there's nothing hitting my criteria right now. So I'm just being patient. I also have another screen I'm watching at up top. So I'm watching 3 stocks, not of which none are doing anything. SXTP, maybe maybe tries again at VWAP eventually. Hopefully we get a breakout. That could change things a little bit. What's this guy named? Carl Icahn, I think. It was him or the other one. One of them announced that they were buying Netflix at like 174, 175. Those guys are some big time investors, so not saying that's enough of a reason, of course, because you still got to do your own research. But quite the bounce since then, right? We're at 475. Probably like a $300 million investment. Probably now worth close to $1 billion minus taxes. Not that those guys pay taxes anyways, but okay, A lot of these big time people, they hardly pay anything. It's kind of crazy. The big timers. The big timers are the ones who created the system, so they're just gonna take advantage. The big timers, whilst us small fries, are carrying the load, paying 40%, 50%. Well, they make more than all of us combined, so it makes sense that they pay more than all of us. But in terms of actual percentage, it's more typical that someone smaller is paying compared to their own income, a smaller percentage, right? Well, let's say more of a percentage. Like for example, like the doctors, right? The people who, the tax is drawn out of their check immediately. I mean, a lot of them it's like close to 50%. Most of the billionaires are not paying 50%. That's just a fact, right? I don't think that that's arguable, right? It's also why nobody likes to talk about taxes. It's kind of unique, right? It's like it's different for everybody. It is, but these people they don't want, they don't want the world to know. So here we go with SXTP, right? Is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Finally, is the third time the charm. Talk to us nicely here today. SXTP, KB. This is it, man. Where are those bulls? Is this the stock that's gonna change? history of this day? Or do I just go short 5,000 shares and wait for a flush down? So, as a bull at heart and also not having shares available, I will wait to see if it goes, and if it holds up above VWAP, this white line, I will get involved. So we'll see. So far, we do have a small red candle. Hopefully it curls back up. Remember the stock yesterday, PWM, I think, had a very similar chart to this as well, where it's kind of like rejecting, then it finally goes. But so far, volume is still light, and seeing red candles. LUMN. PBLA is actually inching up a bit. So we're back at 305. So I'm going to keep an eye on PBLA and SXTP. PBLA, can we get over $3? Very sporadic though in the price action. There's 8, there's 9, there's 10, there's 11. Is this it? Is this it? Time. Candle is young here. So I'm going to still wait a little bit. Small sellers up there. There's 5. Test of strength right here. What's it going to be? 40 seconds remaining. Where are those bulls? Can't be asleep forever. $20. 6. 9 seconds. I'm gonna take it. Tight stops. As long as the stock doesn't take me to the depth, right? And even if it does, we'll smile, take the loss, and move on with our day. Big Steve, is this the one? Is this the one? The volume is still light here though, so I'm still waiting to see. But the Pastor jumping in, putting a stop in place and jumping in. Where's the volume here? Where's the volume? Where's the volume? 10. I'm not seeing the volume at all. So I get out and just wait again. 5. 3. It needs to hold up here. So I was trying to wait for candles to close above the level, which we did have 2. but not quite seeing any buying. So it's telling me that I'm the only person watching at this trade. All the millions of traders are not interested. So I should take the warning and ease off. And this time, if I'm to get back involved, there needs to be more buying. Yeah, the daily chart isn't the best. What I'd like hope for on this type of stock is at least a move to the pre-market high, but it's not even looking like that's possible here. At least not right now. Yeah, this might be a good time to get out of here. It's 10:30 and it's a slow day. We're down a scratch trade, which is not bad. Yesterday we were down a scratch trade. Yesterday though, I'm very content with the day. We traded a strong front side move, but just, again, big spreads is kind of what got us. Big spreads, hesitating a little too much. But other than that, the move was like pretty good. We went up like $3 a share or something. Let's see, PWM, how big was that move? From 20 to, well, $6, from 20 to 26. Such a nice move, man. Such a nice move. This was a beautiful move. The next one, more than likely, will do well. The day is coming when that type of stock is going to have a nice spread, nice liquidity, and the past are going to be gunning for 20K on the day. I can already see it. I can see it clearly. But we'll have to be aggressive. 6,000 shares. It's actually not that bad when you really think about it. Like 6,000 shares, can you make $3 a share? I make $3 a share a lot of times on those type of stocks. Like a lot of times. Just using 500 shares or something, or 300 shares. You're finishing the day up with 1K. But if you're aggressive and you're adding, of course the risk is there. You got to be willing to take on a 4K, 5K, 6K red day if you do end up throughout all the trades being down $1 a share. But we're having great days, which is equal to that amount. So, to put the risk out there to give ourselves a legit chance. If the spreads are tight, the odds will be in my favor. If there's big spreads, forget about it. 500 to 1,000 shares, but tight spreads, different story. Yep, I think that's gonna do it. So if you're going to go to 4 p.m., you know, continue to stay diligent, be patient, watch for the best opportunities, and remain cautious, right? There's not a lot that's really worth our capital here if we're looking for that active trading and, momentum of stocks pushing higher, halting up, those type of things. So, be careful, try and get the best entries you can, and, in the end, you got to always accept the risk. And that way, whatever happens, you'll never really be frustrated or upset to where you can do something silly, right? We're humans, so we'll still have emotions, but it's a matter of understanding that there's a line in the sand. You got caught in a big flush, but you still know that, hey, despite that happening, I'm going to keep my professionalism and I'm going to just, do what's right. So you can be upset and still trade. You just can't be to the point where you're like going crazy, right? Because we're humans. We're, it's just part of who we are. So know the boundaries, right? As they say, know the boundaries, know yourself. And if you ever feel like you're getting too hot, right? Maybe it's a good time to just exit out and come back another time when things are more favorable in terms of the probabilities. Right now, the probabilities are saying, get the heck out of here. And so that's exactly what I'll do. And then on a hot day, I'll be here till 2 p.m. because things are telling me to stay. So take care, guys. Vitali, what's up? What's up? Take care. Same old, man. The grind, the grind of trading doesn't stop every day. You love doing it every day, brother, every day. There's gonna be another meetup this year, though. I guess that's something new. But we can talk more about that later. That's gonna be something else. That we'll talk more about that later, though. Gosh, there's gonna be another meetup. I'm not gonna say anything yet, but it'll be sometime before the year's over. Between now and then, the guys they love it, man. They can't deny it. They love the experience, and it is nice, right? It's different. The only part about it that could be better, like, and we can talk about it as a group, like, how do we trade to where, you know, everybody's able to be in a zone? Well, one, I have obligations here and responsibilities, right? Have to trade, and you know, there's like class is still in session essentially, right? So there's that first and foremost. And there's everybody else and what they also like and what they prefer. So maybe we'll figure something out. But yet again, it's only for 1 week, so it's not awful. But yeah, we still take what we do pretty seriously. So even though it's 1 week, we still have to find like a compromise because like it's easy to fall victim to FOMO or something. Like as sound as we are, it's a different environment. You're not where you're usually comfortable. So of course there's a chance to grow there, but there's also things that you can still work on. So another meetup. Down for it, why not? There's supposed to be a team house, but I don't know about that because these guys, I don't know, these guys, they're afraid of it, man. They're not ready yet for the team house. So maybe after a couple of meetups, maybe it actually becomes a more serious conversation. But a few of us are willing to do it, just not everybody. So and that's perfectly fine. I mean, it's a huge commitment, right? To like, first of all, you're moving from where you are now. If you have a lease already, like there's a lot of components that makes it, you know, makes the logistics of the situation tricky. People might have relationships, like there's a ton of stuff that goes into it. So it's not as simple as like, hey, let's just do it tomorrow. There needs to be a extensive amount of planning. Things needs to be organized and no slacking. Right? But anyhow, maybe next year, we'll see. There's probably going to be a Relentless trading house. You know, imagine that. And then we probably invite a few MMU students every now and again to come check it out. Do like a contest or something. We probably have guest traders coming in there every now and again. I mean, it could be something crazy, right? The content would be insane. I'm pretty sure in no time everybody there, if they're to decide to like do something, whether on any form of social media, it'll probably go crazy more than likely. But it's not something that's simple, so maybe it never happens. I don't know. To enroll to the classes, here I can post a link for you. You can check it out, take a look at the curriculum. I'll post a link to Marcelo's channel. He has a video going over an inside look. So before you even buy, you can you can take a look, see what we offer. You can read through the website as well. I can talk a little bit more about it too. The first thing that I'll say is that the course is subscription based, right? So we do a couple of things frequently, regularly, right? Hold on, let me get the video first. Let me get this video. MMU, there we go. Inside look. Marcello, the man. Hopefully you had a nice green day today, because today markets were in the dumps. Yeah, so check out that video as well for an inside look. And I'll pull it up here, right? Let's go to single screen. I guess we can look at some trader view stats too, while we're here towards the end. So when you come to our beautiful website, our amazing website, right? You'll see this, then you can come down. You can take your time to read through, right? The path of success, the blessing of trading. And here you have your two awesome mentors and teachers, Marcelo and myself. All right, Mighty Stocks and Relentless Trader. Two six-figure traders, although I've been saying recently Marcelo, more like millionaire trader, right? So you get two awesome teachers, and this is where you can see what's included in your membership. So there's two options. There's yearly and there's quarterly, right? Why? Well, it depends on how much time you think you might need as the individual. Not everyone has the same starting point. There are some people who are absolute beginners and others who already know a significant amount about trading, but just feel like they need a few months to kind of shore up and become a little bit better and improve. So we have options here, right? And of course, the silver access is cheaper, right? So there's two options, and coming down, what's included, you have ongoing lectures. There's the course itself, right, which goes from 0 to advanced. So even if you're someone who's an absolute beginner, the course goes from 0 all the way up, right? So, and let's not skip over the lectures too quickly. So when it comes to the lectures, we select interesting topics that we have and or topics from the students that people want to hear more about, and essentially we do like workshops on those topics, going over key details, key things, and posting to the course website. Moving on, every Sunday at 2 p.m., every single Sunday, there's a Q&A. Some are hosted by Marcelo, some are hosted by myself, and there'll be days where we both are on together, right? So you get Marcelo's daily live trading archives. Some of you guys might say, what in the heck is a live trading archive? So if you notice that when I'm trading every day, I'm looking up. What am I looking up at? Looking up at this screen right here. This is how I know, in terms of my level 2 price action, where I want to buy, where I want to sell. This screen here is being recorded every single day and being posted to the course website. And not only mine, but Marcelo's as well. So when it comes down to the intricacies, there we go, of what we're looking at, why we're buying, why we're selling, why we're adding to a position, how we're cutting our losses, that's where the level 2 kind of comes in play, right? So it's more detailed, and it's why I don't mind showing what I'm showing on YouTube. Of course, people can learn from it, but they will not be able to get everything, right? So yes, there's that for myself and Marcelo. So you guys can see all these crazy wicked green days. You can see the red days because we're posting everything, right? Not just, hey, I'm green today, so I'll post today. I'm red tomorrow, I'm not going to post. No, none of that nonsense. Everything is posted, right? Because we are, of course, real traders and we're transparent traders. We we understand, we have the humility, and we understand first and foremost that day trading is hard. And so there's nothing to be ashamed of here. There's nothing to be embarrassed of here, right? Because this is an incredibly difficult field. And so when I have a red day like I do today, and even just understanding it's normal, it's a normal part of the field. It's like there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Like I could be red here every day for a month. It's like it could happen, right? But what is there to be ashamed of? So when it comes to the humility, this is what makes us so transparent, right? We don't mind sharing everything in our journey. So coming down, there's a daily watch list and trade plan provided every day. And this comes out at 9 a.m. every day. There's low latency streaming via Discord, right? So, and I'll pull up the Discord in a sec. We can talk a little bit about that too. Um, so within the Discord has like 3,500 people, but there's a special section in the Discord where it's just MMU students only who has access to that section. So you have a space where it's just us within the community. You still have access to the rest of the community, which is number 10, lifetime access to the chat room, which of course is premium, right? The Discord is no longer free for anyone to just waltz in there. And then lastly, we do have one-on-one mentorships, right? One-on-one mentorships with myself, one-on-one mentorships with Marcelo. So you guys can always set up a slot, an appointment with us. And how this works, you literally message us in Discord, and we'll communicate, and we'll organize a time where you the student are free and where we the mentors are free, and we come together. So let's say, hey, Thursday 1 p.m, 2 p.m, we do 30-minute sessions and 1 hour sessions as well, depending on what's needed. So reviews for screen sharing and reviewing trading, trader view metrics and other things like that. So then you can come down, you can check out the curriculum as well. Everything is here, that's included. Again, you're not allowed to watch the videos because then everything here would just be free. But you can at least see what's included in the chapters. And again, you can check out that video from Marcelo that I posted, which has an inside view, right, of a few of the chapters, just a few of them. And then towards the very bottom, it says become a member today. So in fact, coupon code independence is still active for 40% off either or. The monthly, 3 months rather, the quarterly or the yearly, right, annual memberships. So, when it comes down to price, let's talk about price, right? Let's pull up the calculator. And last time I made a mistake when I pulled up my calculator, so today I'll try not to. But you have 997, right, times 40%. 40%. Where's the percentage? Okay, there we go. Which is 398. So 398 discount off, right? So 997 less 398. Am I on single screen? Okay, good. Yeah, so this is 599 divided by then 12 months. $49. And some days I think this course is too cheap, especially after this discount. 49 bucks. I can think about a million things that we spend $49 on. Gas, a beer, or a couple of beers, or shots at the bar. This is what nowadays 3 McDonald's kids meals. Oh my gosh, $49 a month. Now the goal is 3 months, and so that would be 597 at 40% divided by 3. But yeah, for the yearly membership, $49 can get you access to not one, but 2 profitable traders who are doing it every day. I'm going to keep shouting out Marcelo, one of which who is essentially a millionaire trader here. So, you know, and right now, and I'll be completely honest, like right now, like there's no telling how big this can get. And it's very possible in the future that we cannot do one-on-one mentorships because there'll be too many people. So the people who are here early, who are here now, will have the benefit of being able to have complete and full access to Marcelo and myself. Again, via those you know, appointment sessions and mentorship sessions. Because imagine there's like 1,000 people, and you know, like 80% of the people are trying to do appointments every day. Like it's just not going to be feasible for us. So for the people who are here now and who are here early, you know, they have access to this, which is pretty important. Yes, the discount is still available. The discount code Independence, coupon code Independence, and this is in honor of 4th of July. Um, it should have been, you know, sometimes I mean, we are for the community. So, you know, when people ask for it, we'll like reactivate the coupon or, you know, just keep it up longer. So with Trader View, right? This is where I keep track of my metrics. There's been something that's been like wrong with Trader View for me. Uh, on Friday the 7th, I was up 2,500, but it's saying 4,800. I'm not sure why this is happening. And when I click, so I'm gonna message them and see if I can erase the data from that day and re-import it. Jeez, I mean, it took a lot of trades this day. It looks like GRRR. So this was the Friday of, this was the last day of the trading house. I can go through this and like do this math, but I think it'll just be easier to delete all the data from this day. There has to be a way, and I have a connect over there, so I'll email him and see what he says, and well, more than likely there's a way to do it, right? I probably just have to research into it. But anyhow, so if we just subtract 2 grand off the top of where I am now, it's already my best month, which is kind of crazy here. Where's the date range? So we'll go to the first. I don't usually show this up until the end of the month because, you know, that way it's more of like a surprise. Uh, but we're already at our best month, you know, just shy of, uh, well, after yesterday. Did we import yesterday? Did we import that red day yesterday? Because we were down 800. Oh yeah, we did. So we're basically at like 18,000 right now, which is pretty solid. I mean, at Amazon, I could never do this, you know, and this is why I ultimately left that place because even while I was working my hardest, 10-hour shifts, 6 days a week, you know, they didn't even value their employees. I mean, there was a couple of other people there who were also like working hard. I mean, that place was just that place was just trash, man. I'm sorry to say, but terrible. Slavery. And what's so stupid too is that they would have people that are proven people. I never would understand this nonsense. They'd have proven people inside the facility that's essentially running the operation and who will also have qualifications because people who are working there will also have these bachelor's degrees and these things. And so what they essentially did, they came in at entry level whilst going to school. But now time has passed, they now have a certification or let's just say degree that's compatible with this field, supply chain, logistics, these type of things, business management. And these fools would hire somebody from the outside and then have the audacity to have you train that person how to do the job that you are already doing and managing to a degree just without the pay. Once I saw that, I knew that was it. I mean, how insulting, how stupid as well. I mean, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's discrimination. I don't know if it's favoritism. I don't know what it was, but it was quite awful. There were some people in there that were like doing the job extremely well, and then they would have to train somebody to take that position that was open. I mean, just silly. And what it tells me though is that if these companies have better management systems in place, the companies themselves could be far more efficient because there's so many things in these facilities that just it's never going to be perfect. It doesn't need to be, but like there's so much slippage, like an unnecessary amount of slippage that just maybe because the company's already so big, it just goes unnoticed or something. It's quite interesting. But yeah, to the depths, Amazon. I got them people in there working. Crazy, man. To the depths. 6 days a week, 10-hour shifts, 60 hours, 3,500 bucks a month. 3,500 bucks a month. In this day and age, probably not even enough to live in a one-bedroom apartment, especially not in New York. Your entire money is gone to the rent, and you have nothing left for food. Don't even you're not even gonna make it to to entertainment at that point. So it's like if you're making that level of money, you need some sort of group, team, roommates, family, relatives, um, or you need to be, working on either uh, improvements like pay raises or what's it called, like higher positions or some sort of education that will give you a certification to be able to be somewhere else or at a higher level. And they did have levels there, like like I was offered a few positions there, but that didn't make a difference, right? Like assistant managers and managers, like it's like the same thing anyways. Um, but it comes down to what you want. Back then for me, I knew that it wasn't going to give me, because we all have some sort of goal or dream, and it's like it wasn't going to be able, even at the higher levels, going to be able to get me what it is that I need to feel good. And I'm not even gonna say want. I'm gonna say need because it's like this. There's an obsession inside of my brain. I don't know why, but it's just how it is. Maybe if things change, that can change too. If the world is like in a different state, maybe it'll be different because they say we just need survival, right? Shelter, food. But yeah, this story went all the way left. I mean, we just started talking about the course. Now the pastor is ranting, life story, wrong bet style. Shout out to wrong bet if he's watching on. Am I missing trades? I don't know. At this point, doesn't matter. PBLA. So right now the pastor is just taking it easy on days like today, just waiting patiently for something better. The only thing that made that job decent were some of the people. Other than that, that job was awful. But you got to do what you got to do, and until you can be able to do something else. So there were no complaining. You just show up, get it done, and then again and again and again. Again and again and again. ABOS, GP, BPTS, PW, PMN, MICS. How did that one do? Let me see if there's any questions coming through. Jeff, I'm down like one something. When it comes to trading, though, it is good to have other income as you learn how to trade. And that's the beauty of the market is that, you don't need to be here from 9 to 4. The first hour or two is what you really need, or even pre-market. Some days pre-market is even stronger than the open. So, if you can have other income, I know everyone's situation is different. If you don't need the income at all, then I guess it's okay. But like if you have bills, it's good to have other income. That way things are not getting crazy, right? Um, you can trade and then, work a job that's a little later into the day. My schedule is about 2 p.m. onwards. Uh, so, you can trade till 12, take an hour to get ready. You still have to calculate for the commute. Take an hour to get ready and then, you head out. You're back home in the evening. And that type of schedule still allows you to at least, if you do have kids, you can still like drop them off to school and all that. Hopefully there's someone else to like help with the pickup. But yeah, you'll be back at like 10 p.m., 9 p.m., depending on the shifts, schedules. But that does make it so it is a little tricky. It eliminates like the most of the office type jobs. Like the corporate setting is like 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 9 a.m. Like those jobs, you're probably not gonna like, if you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna try this thing, I want to dedicate this time frame to this. So it is tricky. Most of us here are more mature. In fact, like I can see the average age range, like on YouTube and stuff. Most of us are between 25 and 45, and then 45 to like 55. So it's like the more you have going on, the more tricky it is, right? If you're like responsibility wise, if you already have the house and a job, or let's say career, depending, right? It might it's a little bit hard. It's harder because you don't have as much freedom to just roam and say, okay, this is what I can do. So it's like you kind of have to try and be a little bit more, flexible in certain areas where you can. But that's all part of the trick, right? All part of why trading is hard in the first place. It always was hard and it always will be. but it can be done. It's possible. Something too that I'd recommend. I don't know how everybody feels about this. Like this style is one style out of many. There's other styles. There's other strategies. There are, there's a million other strategies that works, right? But for this particular style of trading, are you the individual willing to kind of, say, okay, this is what I know prior to coming into this, space here. Am I willing to kind of, put what I know to the side and kind of just take in what it is that this strategy is? Because a lot of times when there's an overlap, it's harder to get like a separation when you're mixing, and sometimes it's like subliminally. And I recognize this, that from within this the same subset of this strategy, buying high and buying low, it's like mentally trying to buy low at first was just, I mean, just ridiculously hard to do. And you know your brain sometimes, man, it's like it's so powerful and then so tricky. So are you willing to kind of put everything to the side, taking what already applies from what you know prior, applying it, and then building from there? Because if there's too much like back and forth and fusion, it's like it's not going to work. The strategy is very specific. It's pretty delicate, and if like naturally some people will be able to go through the classes and like see ways to make it better, and ultimately be better traders than Marcelo and myself, right? I mean, that's going to happen, but it's like, I'd say more times than not, you got to be careful how you you change things, right? So it's like the foundation needs to be strong, and then from there you can kind of try and adjust and add on components. If not, it's like a whole new strategy altogether. So something to think about, right? The good thing with the style of trade is that once you understand how it works, it allows for you to be very scalpy or more conservative, and taking just a few trades depending on the patterns that are presented each day. That will change and vary depending on the day and the opportunities that we see. But what allows us to be more scalpy is the edges, the price action trades. So those are occurring more frequently than a pattern will. Let's say a flag, like think about what it takes for a flag to form versus what it takes for a candle to flush down and bounce back up. Like a flag probably needs like 5 to 8 candles, you know, while a flush can happen 3 times in one candle. So the edges definitely allows more trades. But if you're trying to be more primarily of a charting trader, right, a chart trader, there's the option there, and you have to be patient, of course. Fewer trades, higher quality, you can say, right? If you want to phrase it that way. Pastor ranting for 38 minutes straight here. 38 minutes ranting. Ranting Relentless. It's been a good year to this point, though. It's been a good year. We've done better than we did last year. Uh, let's look at it. But we can do better still. And this is always the goal, So, we're right around 90K on the year. Um, but we can improve. These like the first half of the, let's say the first 6 months, right? The first 3 months out of that, we weren't pushing as much volume. So well, I estimate that if things can continue to be, you know, steady, that the back half of this year will be better than the first half. But the market always has a say, so we'll have to wait and see. If it's gonna be like this forever for the rest of the year, then forget about it. But um, the first 3 months versus the last 3 months, um, big difference. And of course, March was just awful because March we had the banking crisis, and I was very slow to adjust. I was pretty slow to adjust. CVNA I'm not touching because there's a risk of an offering. Uh, I'm pretty sure there's a risk of an offering, I heard. So it's why there's opportunities always, but opportunity does cost. So it's the first 3 months versus, you know, April to July here so far. Or I guess we can probably cap it at June. Probably capping it at June would make more sense. This is the entire amount that I made last year. Or no, 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 I made more than this last year. The year before. 2021. This is the amount we made in 2021. And now, it took us 3 months to do. So there's the progress, right? Over this, it's like these small details, in different parts of the trading, you're improving slowly, steadily, and it's like it's like you never see it immediately. Maybe the next day you do a little bit better, but after a few weeks, few months. So in another 5 years, how is the trader gonna look in 5 years? Are we gonna be at 5 million at this time of the year? It's possible. I mean, what's good is that we're still learning, we're still growing, we're still adjusting. There are still changes that we're gonna make, and when we find new things that work well, we're gonna implement it. So we'll see. PBLA getting talked about. How did the cheaper stock do? I think there's a stock that was at like 30 cents. I know BMAC usually loves trading the cheaper ones. You can probably check in with him to see. Actually, I think I had it up here. Let's see. SMX, I believe. It did bounce up a little. Okay, it gave something. It gave something over here, but not a lot though. So there's a 30-bar play over VWAP that went from 21 to 20, only 1 cent. I'd have had to have a million shares to do something there. RXRX has been like this all day, kind of like a move, consolidation, pop, big pullback, move, consolidation, pop. higher float, so that's why I'm not interested in that one either. CVNA looks like it was a little tricky. Nice red to green here though initially. This is a pretty good setup here. So the 1 minute candle makes the new high, 52.48. It goes to a high of 56.92. So we also had a break of high of day here, which is a little higher and extended, but it did push up before pulling back. From there, sold off. Very choppy at VWAP here, but did push through, back down, then back up. I mean, this looks like it was a mess. Opportunities though, as always. All right, guys, I think that's gonna do it. So a nice long rant to end the day. So stay motivated, stay consistent, stay disciplined, and over time, let's see if we can't make some progress. So today is, I believe, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, so we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll go from there. We'll see if we get something good. I could come back for power hour if there's something moving, so I'll keep an eye on the chat. The chat is always a good way to see if something is moving because I have my phone on me at all times, so I can check the chat and see if there's a good call out. So yeah, stay safe, stay green. Signing out. Out of here. Out like South. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up if you have not already. And consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be live again tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. For another beautiful day. It's always a beautiful day here in the markets. All right, guys.